Hello and welcome to the Polly Means Business podcast. Today I'm chatting to Lusardi. She is going to give us the down low on what it's like to start a business as a young mother, and also how she really navigated her way through her aesthetics and permanent makeup company being a single mum. Hi, Lusardi.
Hello, Polly.
How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good.
How are you?
I'm very well. So, Lusardi, we're here today to have a little chat about, you've obviously got your own business.
I do,
and
yes.
I just want everyone to know that Lusardi is somebody who is actually, she might seem like a little pocket rocket, but she's got so much about her, and I'm really excited for you to share your story today, especially because you're a mum as well as I am.
That's correct, yes.
And I think we really hit it off when we first met each other, and it's just going to be such a great podcast, just learning about your journey, because it's really inspirational. And I remember the first time we spoke to each other, and I was just so touched by the fact that you've come through so much adversity into the woman that you are today.
Oh, thank you so much.
So first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
And
it's a pleasure to be here. It's amazing.
And next, I just wanted to say, tell us a little bit about the business as you have it now. So tell us a little bit about what you do and your passion.
Okay, so my business is just me, myself and I do everything, 10 things at once or more. I am an aesthetic practitioner, so I do facial enhancements, and then I also do semi-permanent makeup. So that's brows and lip blush.
Lovely. And did you start with doing the permanent makeup first, or was it the aesthetics? How did you get into it, Lusardi?
So I was a dental nurse for 10 years. Towards the end of my career, I got into cosmetic dentistry, and that involved dermal fillers and anti-wrinkle. My boss used to do it and I used to assist him. And that's where I found the passion for it. I used to watch him work, like doing the enhancements on the face. And I remember thinking, I would love to do that. I could do that.
Yeah.
And then a few years passed and I saved up lots of money to do the courses, because as we know, they're not cheap. Finally done a course, and here we are today. So yeah, started off with the injectables.
Yeah, you've done an amazing job, and I think the credit to you. You are somebody that really has an amazing eye for detail.
Thank you so much.
And I love the fact, if anybody follows Lusardi and watches her Instagram, she has a really lovely way of having a great work-life balance. Mm-hmm. Now, she has got a little girl. How old is your little girl?
She's just turned 6.
And what's her name?
Praise
is absolutely gorgeous. And
thank you.
I think for me, what I love watching your stories and how you work is that you really have created a life for you and Praise that works around her, works around you, and that you feel so uplifted and passionate about.
Yeah, 100%.
So just tell me a little bit about, I know obviously we've touched on this when me and you've spoken in the past, but I'd really love to know a little bit about sort of, you had a little bit of a struggle, I know, when Praise was first born, and just touch on me how that sort of, how you've now come into where you are now, how that felt with being that person back then and to how you are now.
Okay, so I was in business, I think 3, maybe 4 years, and then
doing aesthetics at this time.
Yes.
Okay.
So I wasn't at the dentist anymore. I'd had my business and built it up so I could work full time. And then obviously I fell pregnant. And the pregnancy was fine. So I'd had her and she was about 2 months old, and I had to make the decision to go back to work. So obviously I'm self-employed and it was just me doing everything. Of course, no mother wants to go back to work when their baby's 2 months old, but I just had no choice, you know.
Yeah. And let's talk about that maternity leave pay.
Is there even a thing? Is there even a thing?
I mean, it's called maternity leave, but there's absolutely no leave about it.
Especially for self-employed.
Yeah.
It was like pennies.
Exactly.
It was pennies.
It's ridiculous because when you think about it in this way, these are meant to be the times where we should be, we've paid into we've paid our taxes, we've paid into the system. And then when we do go to have our children, there's literally no support for, financially.
Yeah.
I think it's so incredibly difficult.
Especially when you're by yourself, like
sure.
in the ideal world, you'd have your partner there to support you. So you could
double
focus
income.
so you could focus on being a mum and raising your child. But as a single parent, that is not an option.
How do you feel about that time that you had taken away from you when you had to go back to work? How do you look back on that time now?
At the time, I think I was just in survival mode, so I didn't really I didn't really take it in. I just went with the flow, like I know I need to do this, so I did. And I remember when I had to take her to nursery, I was so upset.
Oh God,
I was so upset
because they're tiny.
Yeah, but I had to do what I had to do, So at the time, I didn't really think too much about it. But now, looking back, I do kind of feel a bit sad that I was put in that situation, but you can't dwell on the past.
But look at what an incredible and strong person you are to get through that.
Yeah, so I do believe it all happened for a reason, as awful as it was at the time.
Yeah.
I am here today because I went through that awful situation.
And where do you find that of course, and that inner strength that you find, I think that resilience as well is what makes not only a great mum, but also a great businesswoman.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to step into that mummy mode where it's like, I'm just going to be a mum.
Yeah.
The bottles change, the sterilising of the bottles, the nappy changes, and we can kind of start
get lost, you lose yourself.
You do. Yeah. Your mental state of mind completely changes.
I could have gone one way or the other.
Yeah.
And there was only one way for me to go.
Yeah.
Go
girl.
I remember when I had to put my daughter in nursery and I was talking about it with a friend, she said, well, why don't you just have like time off work for a year and just go on benefits? And I was like, that is
not an option
for some people, but not for me. So like I said, I could have gone one way, but that wasn't an option for me.
No. And I think you have to keep up that momentum.
Yeah.
When you first have your baby, I think it's so weird when you run your own business because you have this guilt. It's like mum guilt. When I'm doing so well with work, I'm like, I'm not giving Penelope enough time.
Yeah, you need to really find the balance.
And then when you're like doing like loads with Penelope, or praise, then you're not thinking about work enough.
Yeah.
So and your business is your first baby.
This is it.
Yeah. So you're like tied between the two.
Yeah, exactly.
The hands are tied. You're feeling that guilt.
Yeah.
You're burnt out. You're feeling the burnout feeling.
100%.
And
it's really difficult
to
find
so
a balance.
hard.
A balance. It really is.
It is. So just reflecting back onto your business, obviously you started with the injectable aesthetics. That really hit it off. And then you went into the permanent makeup, which has been such a great addition.
I'm so grateful I done that.
Oh, it's been brilliant. And you're amazing. You're so artistic.
Well, you know what? I didn't realise, when you just have a random flashback at one point.
Yeah.
I remember years ago, before I'd even done aesthetics, I'd inquired about microblading course, and I totally forgot. And this was literally when I was like young.
So you'd already had that thought. It was already there.
Subconsciously, I already had it, but it just worked out the other way. So that's probably why I have that passion anyway, because I was interested in it in the first place.
Of course.
But
so talk to me a little bit more about working from home and how does Lusardi's day go day by day? Because I love this. I always wake up and I look at your stories and it's like she's got a beautiful home.
Oh,
and
thank you so
she's
much.
got this absolutely adorable cat as well.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's like, I know, so aesthetically pleasing. And I'm like, oh my God. But it's so nice because your life seems so calm, and it's like you've created this beautiful pace for yourself.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you get up every day, you have your coffee, you sit outside in your garden.
I do.
You ground yourself.
Exactly that.
And what would you say to tell us your day-to-day. Tell me your day-to-day first. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent.
So my day-to-day, I I don't get up too early because my first client's not until 10. I'm not an early person.
But great, why
Those
not?
who know me, no, I'm not great in the mornings. I'm a
She
night
likes a
owl.
lay-in.
I'm a night owl. So I'll get up no earlier than 7:15. No
Okay.
earlier. I'll get up, feed the cat, have a coffee, go in the garden and have my coffee and just have 15 minutes of peace. And it's so peaceful in my garden. You can just hear the birds and it's lovely. So I start my day like that, maybe doing some morning affirmations or a little bit of meditation.
Yeah.
And then by the time I've gone in, Praise has already got herself up and she's downstairs. That's when the day starts.
Yeah.
I'll
Little
do her
one's
breakfast. Yeah, I'll do her breakfast and then let her chill for a bit, do her hair, get her dressed, drop her to school. She has to be at school at 9:15. So then I go back home. By then it's 9:00 and I'll get myself ready and go and set my clinic room up, which I had purposely built in the garden, which is amazing because I can just work around her school hours without having to travel anywhere.
Yeah.
So some days I'll do school hours, some days I'll do late nights and she has a childminder pick her up in after school, which she absolutely loves.
Oh.
So I feel like I have created that balance. It hasn't always been that relaxed and chilled. I've got a totally different mindset now, whereas I don't need all of this money. Like I could be making so much more money that I am now.
But happiness
Exactly,
is more important,
I
right?
need the peace, to be honest. I just want a peaceful life.
Sure.
When you've had so much drama and negativity in the past, I've just created a nice peaceful environment that's why I think she's so relaxed and calm, because it's just me and her at home. And because I'm so chill, which everyone says, I think she just feeds off me.
Yeah, and children do feed off that energy.
Yeah.
And I think it's testament to you from where you've had this really sort of like hostile and, negative start to Praise's life.
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. So when I think she was 8 months old, I had my car stolen, which had a buggy in it. And that took so long for the insurance to get sorted out. So during that time when I had no car, which was like 6 months, I think, I had to get up so early and get the bus to take her to nursery, then walk from nursery to my work, which was like in town at some point. Finish work, go and pick her up from nursery, walk to the bus stop, get 2 buses home. So because I've done all of that, I'm just like, no, I'm never going back there again. I just want peace and easy flow.
But look at what you did to get to that point. You have to. You're a hustler.
Oh God, yeah, I am.
You are. You're a hustler. I know. But I think it's amazing because just going back to all those, I mean, when we were speaking before, and I remember when I first wanted to get you on this podcast, is because I love hearing from like mothers, but also women who have been in real situations where they have absolutely overcome adversity and they've turned it around into, manifested the life that they want.
Oh, 100%. And
I love
definitely believe in manifestation as well.
Oh, and this is another thing I wanted to touch on is the fact that I know you said when you were younger, you had an ideology of what it was that you wanted to be, married, fast cars and all this sort of stuff. And now it's like you're so much more in tune with
who I really am.
Yeah, you're more spiritual. You love your meditation. You have your boundaries, and you are like, this is my day-to-day routine. Nothing is going to come in between that.
Nothing
Exactly.
does.
And I love that you put you in praise and yourself first every single day.
Yeah, I do.
And I really admire a woman that does that because I think it really shows strength. And I think your clients love it as well. I think a lot of women look up to you. And let's just talk about that Instagram post that you put up. It's something so touching recently and the overwhelming response. I know you were nervous about posting that.
Yeah.
Talk about the response that you got from that.
So I basically posted an Instagram post of me in praise, and I was fortunate and blessed enough to be able to take her away for her 6th birthday to the Maldives, which for me has always been like a bucket list dream location.
And you two go everywhere together. You're like besties.
Yeah, she's literally like my little bestie.
Yeah.
She's my travel buddy. I'll take her anywhere now. She's so good at traveling. So I just posted a picture of us 2 on the beach and just said on the lines of, don't look at my life and think it came easy. It took a lot of hard work. and struggle and pain to get here.
Yeah.
And I don't think people, obviously, because I've never shared my story before, sometimes I think I don't want people to think like it's a sob story, or I want people to feel sorry for me, because I definitely don't. If anything, I want to inspire people.
Give people hope.
Yeah, give people hope, because I'm trying to think, when I was going through all that, I didn't actually have anyone to look at and think, if she can do it, I can.
And how interesting is it that on Instagram, we want to always post the good stuff.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm having an amazing day.
Yeah, exactly. I'm travelling here, there and everywhere.
Exactly.
I wasn't able to do that 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was literally hitting rock bottom, having a breakdown, you know? But I feel like I'm able to share that now. I'm not ashamed to say at all. I've recently had therapy, hypnotherapy, to get me through, to get me over the trauma.
Sure.
And I knew that it was still affecting me, because earlier on in the year, so literally like 6 months ago, I saw an old friend in the shop, and we was literally talking for like half an hour. And she said, "Oh, all that stuff that you went through, like you're so strong, blah, blah, blah." And when she was talking about it,
you felt triggered.
My eyes started welling up. I nearly started like crying in the middle of the supermarket. And that night I thought, that's not right. Like, that all happened 5 years ago, and it's still like so, you know. So that night I inquired about trauma, like therapy, had my sessions, and now I'm able to speak about that now, because I just feel like it's just part of my story.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt me anymore.
No.
It doesn't hurt me at all.
And don't let it you can only control what's now going to happen in your life.
Exactly. And I've learned so much from that. And, you know, I've got boundaries now. I'm not a people pleaser anymore. I just do what's right for me and my child.
Absolutely.
And that's what a mum does.
Absolutely.
And, you know, she's not going to be young forever. My business will always be here. She's not going to be young forever. So that's why it's really important for me to have that balance.
Take those holidays.
Exactly.
Make those precious memories and do things together as a family.
Money comes and goes, but, you know, she's only young once. So
that precious time is so, so important.
Yeah, and when she's older, she'll look back and she'll see everything that I've done for her. No one else, you know, I'm 100% financially her, you know, everything that I earn is for me and her. I don't get any help from her father or family. So she'll realise that when she's older, and hopefully she'll get a good work ethic from seeing me and everything that I've done.
Of course she will. Of course she will.
Yeah.
So what advice would you have to any new mums or young mums or women who have got a business and who are looking to have children? Because that's such a big thing. Giving up that control.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to women in that situation?
For women in business who want children, but maybe they're on the fence thinking, oh God, is my business going to go downhill or blah, 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 I would say there's plenty of time to nourish your business, you know, but motherhood, well, unfortunately, there is like a time. Is there a time limit? I don't know. Women are having children older, aren't they?
We are. But I think that we've got this thing in our heads now where we feel that we have to constantly push ourselves at work. And I've actually found, for me, it's a little bit of a trauma response because I constantly want to push myself at work because I want this medal. I want this gold medal of being like, I'm working the hardest. And then I have to stop myself. Since I've had Penelope, I'm like, Polly, you do not need to keep pushing yourself to be the best.
Why does it even matter?
It doesn't. All that matters is that my little girl knows that she's loved and cared about. All this stuff doesn't matter.
I do think a big part of it is Instagram, you know. Like,
it is.
I don't know why I don't know.
But you've got no other focus, have you, either? So I think for me, having Penelope has allowed me to sit back, and I've lost staff members since I've had my little girl, and I have been able to just let that go and be able to just sit there and be like, you know what, this feels good and it feels right.
Yeah.
Because
in a way, it's like a weight.
It's a weight, because it's somebody else that I actually don't have to worry about, and I could put more focus on my little girl
and being a mum, exactly.
And that person will do what's right for their family, and I'll do what's right for mine.
Exactly that.
And that is the circle of life, right?
Yeah, I would say just do what is best for you. Don't worry about anyone else. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. And also other mothers, like, don't compare yourself to other mothers.
I know. I mean,
every child is different. Your child might be, you know, running crazy, and theirs might be chill.
Talking
You
about
can't.
I remember when I first had Penelope, and I was looking at, because I kind of went back to work maybe a little bit too soon. I couldn't take my foot off the gas. And I remember you messaged me and you were like, Paul, don't overdo it. Because once you start, the clients know you're back.
Yeah.
They're like on you, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they're
God,
like,
yeah.
they're like, oh my gosh, she's back.
Yeah.
I need my brows done.
Oh God.
I know. So it's so easy to fall into that trap, and it's like a spiral. You're like, just one more client, just going to squeeze that person for Profilo, just one more lip blush,
Yeah.
and before
I
you know
used to be
it,
like
you've
that.
got a full day again.
Yeah.
And then my sister's like, who's my PA, she's like, Polly, you said you were only going to do 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's now 6 hours.
Yeah. In a way, it's because you love it.
Of course.
You know,
I enjoy it. I'm not there because I don't enjoy it.
Exactly. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but as long as you're not losing your balance.
Yeah. And this is and I think I looked at mums who were having this maternity leave where they were like, fully supported, feeling that they had all this time off. I'm not saying that Sam doesn't support me. That's not my mindset. But what I meant is having a job where you could put that in a box
Oh my God,
and leave it and walk
Yeah.
away, and someone else is going to take your stress off you. Because
Yeah.
when you run your own business, you're the person that has to be there to answer those inquiries. They only want you to do the treatment, and people will go elsewhere. So you constantly
Yeah.
have this anxiety of like,
Yeah.
I need to get back to work.
But you know what? Maybe that's why I had to go back to work after 2 months. Because who knows? If I would have left at 9 months without seeing any clients,
you would have started from
would I
scratch.
have came back to any?
Yeah.
So, you always got to look on the bright side.
Of course.
That was probably a blessing in itself that I went back to work
Absolutely.
after 2 months. But I really do think it's just important to find a balance that works for you. If you don't have any children and you've got loads of energy and you're young, work while you can.
Why not?
Work so when you get to an age like in your 30s or 40s, you can step back and think, oh, okay, I can work 2 to 3 days a week and
Yeah.
I'm financially comfortable. Because that's like where I'm at now.
Yeah.
But I did put a lot of work in to get there.
Of course.
And who knows, like maybe in 10 years, you never know where we might be.
Absolutely.
But I just literally take each day as it comes, go with the flow and just see what happens. There's no point stressing.
Yeah, totally. I agree. So what is the next step for your business? I mean, are you happy where you are now? Are you feeling like you need to, because obviously Praise is going to get to an age where maybe you're going to have less responsibility as a mum and you're going to be now thinking about what
Exactly.
you're going to be doing with the business.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? What is that going to feel like for you?
I'm actually really excited to see what the future holds.
Good.
Because I know it just doesn't stop here. It only keeps growing. I don't know when it's going to grow. I don't know in what avenue. I don't know what I'll be doing, but I know I'll be doing something.
And you're reinvesting in yourself. You've been on a recent eyebrow course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually yesterday I just signed up to another one.
Oh, good.
So I just want to keep improving while she's still young.
Yeah.
Keep improving, and then when the time comes where she doesn't need me as much, then we'll reevaluate and see what happens. But so far, I'm just going with the flow. I'm not putting too much stress on myself.
No.
Other than that, I'm just surrounding myself with amazing people like yourself and the other talented girls. Like in their own way, they all motivate me in some sort of way. And I think that's really important, to surround yourself with people that you look up to and that you
And
that inspire you.
We become a support network for one another as well.
Yeah.
Having colleagues in this industry, it can be so, as you know, working on your own, it can be so
very
lonely.
isolating. Very isolating.
You're like a solopreneur
Yeah.
or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
There's nobody around. You've got no one to fall back on. And it can
Exactly.
feel like you're in
or even
competition.
asking for advice
Yeah.
about a client or
Anything.
So I really do think if you're self-employed and you work by yourself, you do need to build a little network.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because it does get lonely and
And reach out to other women.
Yeah, exactly.
Like be that person that puts out that olive branch and says, hey, do you want to meet for a coffee and have a chat?
Exactly.
And you can then cross collaborate with your businesses,
Yeah.
lift each other up.
And that's also why it's important to go to women in business networking events, which we've done.
Yeah.
That's a great way to network and
know.
meet friends.
We've had so many great times at these things.
Yeah, they're fun and you're at work.
Yeah.
So I defo recommend that for mothers or women in business. Definitely recommend those networking events. There's been some where I've gone alone because I didn't know anyone, but you've just got to push yourself out and go for it, and you'll meet such amazing people. So defo recommend those.
Pushing yourself out of your comfort zones
Yes.
is definitely something I think that
You need to take the leap.
you seem to be able to do that really well. So
Honestly, when I was like a child, I was so shy.
Yeah.
Like I didn't speak to anyone. So I feel like you can create who you want to be.
Yeah.
You can. Remember,
Mindset.
exactly, when I first moved to London, I was 21, didn't know anybody. I literally went, took this job, didn't know anybody. And I thought, no one knows me here. I can create whoever I want to be. Like I can just create a brand new me. And I did. And I became confident. I'm able to talk to anyone of any backgrounds. And I think if you want to be someone, just believe in yourself and just go for it. There's literally nothing to lose. Live once. You don't want to live with regrets, you know?
No. And knowing your self-worth.
Yeah.
Understanding what it is that who you are as a person, understanding where do you want to be, how are you going to get there, what vehicle are we going to use to get ourselves to that point, but also the boundaries that you have in place to make sure that nothing is stopping you.
Exactly.
So you're this unstoppable person.
I mean, it took me a long time to get those boundaries and to know who I am, like 30s plus. I think 20s are a bit like you're just finding yourself.
Yeah.
So I'd say to any like young business women, don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't find out what I wanted to do until I was 27. So, you know.
And this is the other thing with careers. I think some people have babies first, careers after, and some people do careers first and babies after.
Exactly.
But I actually don't know what the right way is. I don't think there is a right way.
No, definitely not a right way. Everyone's story is different.
They are.
You know,
you just
cater it to yourself.
Yeah, you have to go. Yeah, you totally have to just go with the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow. Just don't stress. Just go with it.
And enjoy it.
Yeah, and just trust the process.
Darling, it was so lovely having you on the podcast today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I really do feel honoured.
Oh, you're so welcome. Do you feel like this has been a little bit of therapy today, maybe?
Yeah, I do feel like it's another therapy session.
Good.
And I do think it's great to just talk and let it out. You know, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Everyone has their own story. Just
Thank you for sharing your experience today.
You're so welcome. My pleasure.